are going to discuss about the damping force. Yesterday we thought that damping force is proportional to velocity. How it depends on velocity or anything else also. Now we are going to discuss this. So what we have studied earlier is the damping force is a frictional force which continuously opposes the motion of the oscillating part of the system. Whatever is oscillating, the damping force is opposing the motion. It is resisting the oscillating part to oscillate. So with this damping, what is actually happening is amplitude is going to decrease with time. So damping force could be considered to be a frictional force. Since friction is a non-conservative force, so work done against it over the time period should be non-zero. Because it is non-conservative, so work done is non-zero. So we are using this factor, we are going to make use of this factor to study the nature of dependence of the damping force. So what we are going to calculate is to calculate the work done. Work done against the resistive force. So work done is equal to force into displacement because it is against this resistive force. So we are here writing negative sign because it will act always opposite to the displacement. So next what we are going to do is we are just replacing here by dx by dt, and this is the overall because we have to take here over the whole time period. So total work done would be equal to integration of this whole thing from 0 to t. So this is what we are going to do. This thing I have done that because the force and displacement they are opposite to each other, so angle between them is 180. So if I take f dot s, so what would result is fs cos of pi. So cos of pi would result into -1. So w would be equal to minus fs. This is what has been used here. So the total work done over a time period, it is w 0 to t integration of minus fd dx by dt with respect to time. So in simple harmonic motion, the displacement is given like this and dx by dt is given like this, because we will just differentiate it once, and we will have this dx by dt. Now we are going to fill this value over here to calculate the final expression of w. So this is what we are with. So now we are taking the different cases of damping force. We are using the first case where Fd is constant. We are taking damping force to be a constant. So if Fd is constant, so Fd would take out as a constant from the integration. So we are left with the sine omega t plus phi dt. So after integrating this whole, we are getting w is equal to 0. So it means the work done against the resistive force is 0. So as I have told earlier, the work done should be non-zero. So it means that Fd cannot be a constant. The same procedure that we have applied to others also. Earlier, now we are taking that if damping force is proportional to displacement. Now we are taking Fd proportional to x. So if it is proportional to x, so it would be equal to some constant multiplied by x. So Fd is equal to k1x. Here we are writing k1a and we are writing the value of x as a cos omega t plus phi. So this is the value of Fd now. So what we are going to do, we are going to fill this value in this equation, because this is the basic equation we have derived. So we will fill this Fd value over here and we will get this equation, and from this equation whatever is constant we are taking out, and then after we are integrating this integral, and after that what we are getting is work done is again 0. So if work done is 0, so this should not happen. It means this consideration is also wrong, that Fd should not be proportional to displacement. Next, we are going to take a case when Fd is proportional to acceleration. So if it is proportional to acceleration, it means Fd is proportional to d2x by dt square. So here we can also write like this: Fd is proportional to d2x by dt square, and then after removing the proportionality sign, we are taking here k2 constant as a proportionality constant. So minus k2 a, then d2x by dt square we are calculating from this expression, x is equal to a cos of omega t plus pi. So we are differentiating it over 2 times and we are getting d2x by dt square. So this is the value we are getting after differentiating 2 times. So this is the value of Fd now. So again we are going to fill this value in this equation because this is the basic equation. So we are going to fill it over here, and then after again we are integrating and we are getting that again w is equal to 0. So it also contradicts the experimental observation because Fd cannot be 0. So sorry, the work done for Fd, it should not be 0. So w should not come out to be 0. So it means Fd is not proportional to acceleration because omega w is 0 again. Now we are considering the case where damping we are considering proportional to velocity. If it is proportional to velocity, again k3 constant we have taken, and this is one thing we are taking here. So next we are calculating the integration of this whole, and what we have with us is a non-zero work done. So here the work done is non-zero. So if work done is 0, it is non-zero, it means the resistive force is proportional to velocity. Earlier we have taken this as a fact that resistive force should be proportional to velocity, but how it is proportional to velocity, this is this is how it works, that if damping exists, then the damping force should be proportional to velocity, because the w the work done against the resistive forces, it cannot be 0, it must be a non-zero number. So we can see that this is here we have got w non-zero only in the case when Fd is proportional to dx by dt, that is Fd is proportional to velocity. So this is a really good article which is ensuring you that Fd should be proportional to dx by dt.